Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Designer Speak. I'm your host Christopher Scott, and today I'm joined by Nicolas Camacho and Santiago Gómez. Today we're going to talk about the persuasion of design. So Nicolas, what is your thoughts about the persuasion of design?
Okay, basically design is one of the most important things to encapsulate thinking, to be able to communicate great ideas and to make them simple, to be able to make it a simple idea and one idea that many people can understand.
See, that's really important that what you said is like for design to be persuasive, it needs to be simple, and because whenever design is complicated, you can't captivate the people.
I think more than simple needs to be a clear idea.
Yes, I think simple and clear.
It's not because you can make something simple or you can make something complicated, but with a clear idea, and when that transmit a message, and the idea is transmit not for one people. It's
That's
like
true.
a community. It's like a global message.
That's true.
So if you can create an idea, say maybe a clear idea, can be simple or complicated, but the point is to transmit a message for
all the people.
all the people.
I think that's interesting, and I like what you said, Nicolas, and I agree too, Santiago. It's like for design to be persuasive, it needs to be simple but clear. Simple and clear. Sorry.
Yeah.
Simple and clear. Like if you have a simple idea, but it can be not very clear about the message and the communication, then that takes away the persuasion.
One of the most important things is that design allows to elevated concepts to become something that you can see as a rock, as a fossil, and then from that you can create higher judgments, higher reasons, and then you might be able to communicate great ideas. So for example, think about the concept of a cross. Many people say that is the union between heaven and earth, because there's one line, vertical line, that resembles heaven, and horizontal line that resembles the people. These kind of topics sometimes through history, through the evolution of mankind, has allowed people to understand certain concepts and to communicate certain concepts that might not be able to understand at the first glance, at the first ideals. So many great concepts have become a part of our humanity, a part of our culture,
Yeah,
by
like
the use of design, the use of simple symbols.
that's true, and that's the thing. Like when you're a designer, that's like your ambition should be that you create something that changes the minds of the people. Like for example, the Che Guevara image of Jim Fitzpatrick, like that. What that made people, that persuaded people to be more rebellious and not just accept what people say and what people tell them to do. So like. That's for me that's the power of design. Design, if it's done right and it's done in a good way and simple and clear way, design can change, or if it doesn't make them change, it can make them think about changing.
Yeah.
So like if you, and that's what designers, they should strive, their objective is that they make a visual or they make a campaign or a video or whatever they want, and that campaign has a huge impact on society in general.
But there's one big topic, thinking about persuasion. Like for example, when you release a message, the people say, like the thinkers say, that it's like a breeze. You release a message like a breeze that will be forgotten by people.
Yes.
How you make a message to be known? How can design become something known? It's by repetition. How many crosses have you seen?
Or maybe iconic.
I don't think repetition is a good way to be persuasive.
Well, there's a concept called.
But I agree in one case. Like for example, if you walk up the street and you see the logo of McDonald's, you instantly want McDonald's. If you see a TV advertisement of Coca-Cola, I want a Coca-Cola now. So in terms of, sometimes repetition is good, but then other times repetition is negative. It all depends on
what case.
in the case like if like something is always
Saturation.
thrown down your throat all the time, again and again and again, then people get sick of it.
But that, I mean, I feel like you're saying reputation is like something like the Che Guevara.
Thinking about continuity.
Yeah,
Continuity is
using all the
important.
time. That is the point I think you're saying, because you have T-shirts of the Che Guevara, you have caps, you have all of these POP material, and what they do, like make a
Yeah, but that's the thing, Santiago. It's like for me.
Positioning, yes.
It all depends on the situation for me. Like repetition in terms of like the persuasion, it's good and bad. Because it depends on the cases. Like in terms of like, sometimes you look at the persuasion of like a company and they always like, oh, look at us, look at us, look at us. And that's the problem, I think, in relation to Facebook, for example. Mark Zuckerberg didn't want advertising on Facebook because he thought that repetition and that persuasion of always trying to sell the products and sell advertising and design in general, that make people think that company is less. And that's the reason why he didn't want that. And that's the thing, and that's the problem with Facebook on YouTube as well. And that's one of the reasons why at this moment in time we don't want advertising in the start of our videos and stuff like that, is because maybe that can diminish our reputation as a podcast.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the situation, and reputation and the persuasion of design.
Well, the thing is not to call it repetition, it's called more like orchestration. The continuity of a certain topic told many times to the people in different patterns, different ways, but with a certain measure of continuity. There's like the old saying of Goebbels, that Nazi person, that said that a lie told 1,000 times becomes a truth, and according to my thoughts, it will never become true, but it will become accepted by the people. A lot of people knew that what the Nazis were doing were like terrible, but they accepted because it was repeated in many different ways.
Yeah, this thing is like whenever things get repeated, whenever things get repeated, it becomes normal. It becomes a culture.
It becomes
all I'm thinking about is electricity, and this is like the last episode of Designer Speak. And the cables, if you can hear this in the sound, you're because it's the cables above us. Sorry guys, this might be the last episode where 3 guys die from electricity. I'm just getting. Are you thinking the same thing? Like the persuasion of electricity, the persuasion of
yeah. For example, that could be like the exaggeration that sometimes design use in order to create
fear, maybe
something to create more importance about certain thing that they are showing. You exaggerate something beyond reality in order to create more interest toward one topic. For example, you are exaggerating the sounds of that electric wire. In that way, you can like create a different kind of idea towards something that you communicate toward the people.
So do you think, Nicolas, in terms of like, because I think persuasion, like what is like perfectly what you said, is that repetition. It's like again and again. Like it's like you're pushing design down the people's throats. Do you think that method works?
I think it works most of the times because you are telling to the people that a special idea that is related with their sociability, in which if they don't follow certain idea, they might not become a part of a member of a group, or might be excluded even from their own culture. For example,
it's like if you're not like I think of something like cultural. I think like an iPhone or an iMac, and it's like it's in my brain that if you're a designer, you need to have that.
Exactly, yeah. That's part of your tribe, and you want to become part of your tribe because it explains who you are.
Yeah, it's like if you're a designer and if you have a PC, people think that you're a less designer.
Yeah,
but that's part of the persuasion that maybe like an awesome campaign, because I think that Apple used the iMac and the MacBook as a persuasion that if you like part of their campaigns that if you're a designer you need this.
Yeah.
Because of the colors and the screen look better and stuff like that. Well, in terms of you, Santiago, do you think that design can persuade people?
100% sure. When you create something, in my case, as a poster designer,
Again, every episode, I love it. I love it. I love it.
as a poster designer, I think my poster, what is my idea if I create a poster? To change the world. So how am I going to change the world? Showing a message in a creative way to take care about the social issues.
But that's the thing, Santiago. Even if people don't like, they look at your poster and they say like a theme like peace, they're not going to jump out onto the streets and go, oh, I'm going to be more peaceful, right?
No.
But Santiago, the thing that's useful about that in terms of what you're doing is that if they don't actually take an action from that poster, it makes them think about it.
That's the idea, but you're making persuasion in their brains.
Exactly.
Because you are saying to them like, you need peace to have a better world.
Yes. So like, if they're maybe not going out and going to like Russia or another country and tell them, okay, do this, but at least they're
to be more calm. But
they're more calm. But at least they're thinking about it. They're thinking about how your work, and at least they're thinking of something that can make the world a better place.
But there's something really important. There's a phrase I don't remember who is the one who said it, but it says that all art is propaganda, but not all propaganda is art. I think what it intends to say is that when you express something, it had a purpose. You always have a reason why to do something.
yeah,
And therefore, through that way, I think design always has a purpose of communicating something.
That's true.
Even
communicate idea. That can be good
And-
idea
and-
or bad
and-
idea. Like when Hitler used the posters to say like you need to kill people, and the people changed their mentality. They changed their humanity, and they were like, okay, kill people.
Well,
I
in
think
times
that-
that were far, all governments do that, and they
Yeah.
transform the minds of the people, and they use especially visual campaigns because it could be like one of the most powerful.
Yeah, because everyone sees with their eyes is what
the people.
people see with their eyes. So like they see like a campaign or propaganda, then they understand that maybe they have to not necessarily always make the change, but they think about making the change. Yeah, it's like you're planting that seed in the brain, and that's what design
And
can do.
you need to put in some water
And
all
it
that
grows.
stuff.
But that's the
and
thing,
grow
guys.
idea.
I think that's a good way to end this episode of Designer Speak. I think that design is like what we said. Design is the seed, and then you put some water, like Santiago was saying, and design can be used as persuasion in good ways and bad ways.
Do it
but-
in good ways.
Always do it in good way. Always. Don't be making campaigns from Coca-Cola all the time. Think more about how you can use design as a persuasion tool to make the world a better place. So I've been your host, Christopher Scott. Thank you very much to Nicolas Camacho and Santiago Gómez for joining me here today. Like our Facebook page or YouTube, etc., etc., etc. We've been Designer Speak, and goodbye.
Goodbye, guys.